What's up, man? I just finished listening to a clip on Academics IG. So, an artist of Ralo, y'all know Ralo FamGoon. Um, he's been locked up for drugs for a grip now, and the artist like recorded him, his artist, and played it. And in a way, Ralo was admitting to like cooperating without saying it outwardly, like, yes, I cooperated, but there was, you know, some statements where he said he knows some shootings and whatever. And the artist brought it up like, yo, on this page, da 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 da, you said you know some shootings, you know this, you know that, like, and he don't deny it. And basically, Raul was like, kind of like, I'm trying to fight for my freedom. I'm paraphrasing. You can go watch it on the Academics page, but um, yeah, the streets is an image. There's something that I say for somebody that's international, lived all over the world, Europe, South America, Africa, Ghana. Um, Look, when you are from outside of America, or when you have lived outside of America, standing outside of the situation gives you the perfect view. You see, everywhere you go where black people live, where, for the most part, where black people live, there's poverty because we don't run things, right? The white people run things, okay? I don't know why God did it, but this is what it is, okay? So we're all gonna come from some type of street politics, street way of life, right? Being born in Africa, I've seen hardship. You know what I mean? So whatever you've seen in America, I've seen that in Africa. You know what I'm saying? Now, the only difference is crime is not promoted as a lifestyle. It's not praised. So you don't always have it in the back of your head that niggas are violent in other places. Crime and being tough and being violent is so promoted in America, music, art, movies. So there's a whole perception that everybody's so solid and tough and this. As soon as you say it, you're going to have people believe that you are tough, you're solid, you never rat, none of that. And people live that image in their music. And they live that image amongst their friends. People try so hard to make people believe that this storyline that's been written, I say especially for black Americans, the storyline, it's a story. That's all it is. And people play a role. And in that role, you die or you go to jail. And then somebody else comes and play the role. They continue and they keep that storyline going. And it's sold every day in movies. It's sold every day in music. And you hear cats always saying, I'm real. Fuck snitches. All snitches must die. But I'm real and I never tell, until they're facing 30 years, 20 years, 50 years. And lately, because of technology and information being available to us and us being able to assess it and access it and assess it, we've come to the realization that a lot of these guys are telling. We've come to the realization that the feds, half their work is done for them by the people in the streets. The feds run the streets. So how you live by the street code? How the fuck you live by the street code when the feds run the street? And the feds are more powerful than the streets that they run. So when you live by the street code, you set yourself back. You are literally creating failure for yourself as a man by living by the street code, because it's a storyline that's written and we know the beginning and the end of it. It's a storyline that's sold. It's an image that's marketed. Everybody come from hardship, man. Everybody come from some tough life. But it tell you it's cool to embrace it. You know what I'm saying? It's not just about telling it. When you tell it, yo, I've been through this, blah, blah, blah. It's one thing. But to become successful after you make it out of it, and then to fall when you're successful, that's because you're still trying to live that story that you have surpassed. And the only reason why you're trying to still live that story It's because the image is so glorified, you still want to embody it. So yes, these guys work for the feds. A lot of these people are CIs and they're off the books. So the reason why they can come out and say I ain't never told is because they're confidential informant and they're not documented informants. You know, if you have an asset that's so important, you might not document that asset because it's gonna fuck up the information they're gonna give you. But at the end of the day, the point is, listen, it's not everybody that can take 30 years lightly. Do you know why the mafia started telling? When they started throwing them life numbers, life sentences, the RICO. You know what I'm saying? Because before the mafia, you get bought, go do 2 years, 5 years, come home, you still got money, your family taken care of. Then they said, nah, we gotta up these numbers. We gonna give them RICO. When they started doing the RICO, 30 years, 50 years, life. Even the mafia mob bosses that had control of so many sectors in the United States of America, that had so much power, they could influence elections. They started telling. How much more rappers coming from so much poverty, they get arrested and they don't want to stop seeing the money that they've been seeing for a long time. Well, I should say for a short period of time, right? They don't want to, all the women they getting, all the love. They start telling, man. When you're fighting for your life, you play a whole different game than what you said when you wasn't fighting for your life. At the end of the day, I don't know what's going on with Ralo, and if he's telling or not. It sounds like he's been cooperating, and I believe a lot of people do. Bring that brother home, man. I would say, Ralo, do what you gotta do, because the streets ain't got no love for nobody. They don't got love for the nigga that keep it real, and they don't got love for the nigga that snitch. So live with whatever decision you make, and that's that on that. Because the feds run the streets, man. This shit is all fucking cap.